So welcome everybody to the NECAT member meeting for Thursday, April 17th, 2025. I am your host, Cameron McCaslin. We want to welcome everyone that is in our studio audience tonight, as well as the people that are watching at home, including our 39 new members in 2025 year to date. Again, like I said, Cameron McCaslin here with Sam Burns and Eric Lowy on the panel. Want to thank Dan back in the booth for taking care of us tonight. Who's been on quite a few of our live projects as of recent. So everyone say hey to him tonight. I want to invite everyone to grab a library card and check out some art. And we've got a quick couple videos to show you on that. So let's roll on those real quick.
Hi, I'm Corey Frederick from the Goodlettsville Branch Library. Did you know that you could get a free library card at any Nashville Public Library branch or online at library.nashville.gov?
Metro Arts' vision is that every person should have access to a creative life, and few places are more accessible than our city's public library. Metro Arts launched the collection in partnership with Nashville Public Library, established with the goals of expanding access to the arts for all Nashvillians while providing direct support to local artists. 60 original artworks from Nashville area artists are available for anyone with a library card to check out at NPL's Donaldson, East, Green Hills, Hermitage, Madison, Old Hickory, and Southeast locations. For more information and to browse the collection online, please visit library.nashville.gov.
Fantastic. So again, just want to jump in to do a quick report on what's been happening in the studio. This year we've had 83 member-produced sessions in 2025, totaling 308 hours of studio production. We've had 40 people that have taken Production 1 classes this year, 10 new producers completing Production 2, 11 people participating in our specialty classes, with 830 unique visitors to the NECAT PEG studios. We've had 238 new run episodes of television this quarter. That's people turning in their ongoing shows episodes. And we want to say congratulations to Larry Underwood, who's in our audience tonight, who has been nominated for Favorite Horror Host and Best Event of 2024 at the Rondo Hatton Classic Horror Awards for the event for the Sir Cecil marker that went up. And I think we've got a photo of that here with Mayor O'Connell and some of the other visitors to the marker. That was a big thing. We're airing that on NECAT now. And good luck, Larry. I know he's up for that. And we're also pulling for Monster Kid of the Year and Hall of Fame. And he has got some flyers for the people that are in our studio audience to tell you how to vote if you want to get involved. Anyone here is welcome to do so. I want to talk about some of our in-house shows we've created for 2025. Our Chinese New Year live event that we did. Our talk show, NECAT Now, Metro Arts Forging Ahead, which tapes in front of a studio audience. And we've got one on the last day of the month here in the same studio we're at right now. Our documentary, It's All Connected, came out last month. We had a sold-out crowd at the downtown library. Of course, again, Dr. Gangrene Sanitarium Live. We've had our first quarter show for that. We've got another one of those coming up. Our Earth Talks, which is coming up this weekend at Centennial Park. Our Black Voices in Media that we did in February for Black History Month. Our MNPS Desktop Show, which brought our high school students this year from McGavock High over to taught them how to do a television show, and that's airing now on NECAT. NPL Means Business for all of you people that are looking to start a small business, and Overdue Adventures, which is teaching people how to play Dungeons and Dragons on TV, which is a whole lot of fun. We've had 30 volunteers this year that have jumped in on these member-produced shows for 204 hours worth of volunteer time. All of those people, for every 8 hours they do, they get a free month of membership here at NECAT. We also had 4 brand new member-produced shows this quarter. These are brand new shows that have never aired before. So we want to congratulate Tiffany Boyd, Chuck Beard, Kathy Duchesne, and Inga Headland for their shows. They're all just getting started out, and we look forward to more of those moving forward. Let's see here. We've got some stuff coming up new for 2025, including a new video from NECAT. Let's show that real quick.
NECAT stands for Nashville Education Community Arts Television, and our mission is twofold. Expose Middle Tennessee viewers to arts and education programming created both locally and around the world, and teach individuals and organizations who wish to make TV shows how to do so. Let them use our equipment and resources, and then broadcast those shows for them. For more information on how to get started creating your own TV show with NECAT, visit us on the web at necatnetwork.org.
And like I said, this year we've changed our hours up in January. We also opened our podcast studio for the first time. We've had 14 bookings for a total of 32 hours in the podcast studio, which has allowed for people to not only be using our big studio back here, but at the same time running shows in the podcast room. Eric's going to tell you more about that here in just a second. And again, we just want to talk about when it comes to our in-house shows for 2025, there are always opportunities to volunteer. So if there's something you want to learn how to do, whether it's work back in the booth, run a camera, learn how to edit, any of those things, we can show you how to do that with these new shows. Just let us know what you want to do, and we'll get you plugged in with that. But I am going to turn it over to Eric at this point, and he's going to tell you a little bit about some classes coming up and some new things coming into the studio.
All right, everybody. So we do have some upcoming classes. Production 1 is going to be May 3rd, June 7th, and July 12th. Production 2, that is a 2-night class, will be May 8th and 9th, July 24th and 25th. Green screen and lighting will be July 13th, and editing will be June 21st. We do need volunteers for some upcoming shows. We are going to, if you want to volunteer on any of these shows, please let us know. We want to have you guys. And like Cameron said earlier, when you do volunteer, that does add a free month of membership to your membership. But we have April 19th, Earth Talks, so that's this Saturday. April 30th, Metro Arts Forging Ahead, which is going to be all about arts, and basically Chuck Beard interviews different artists, and they do a live painting, all kinds of stuff. May 18th and 19th, Able Youth Tennis Tournament. We're actually going to be shooting a tennis tournament live from the tennis courts over there at Centennial Sports Complex with kids in wheelchairs and whatnot that are, have a disability. That should be a fun one where we're going to do live sports. It's going to be the first time we're going to do that. May 29th, again, Metro Arts Forging Ahead. June 19th, we're going to be doing the Juneteenth fireworks show. Most people may not know, but we've been a lot of people may know. We've been broadcasting the Juneteenth fireworks show live from Fort Negley for the last 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah, 4 years.
4 years. And this year, we're actually going to be doing the production ourselves. We're going to take a crew out there, and we're just going to show them what NECAT can do to produce an awesome show to go live on the air. And then lastly, June 28th, we'll be doing a Dr. Gangrene Sanitarium Live. That is a fun show where our horror host over here is going to show us a movie. Do you know what movie we're showing yet? Oh, it's a secret. Never mind. So we'll be screening a movie and doing what shenanigans we normally do. So. I was reading the script in here, or my notes, and I'm like, that has nothing to do with today. And then, so want to highlight some new gear. January 1st, we opened up our podcast studio. This has been an awesome space, and it's starting to get used quite a bit. Basically, it can sit 4 people in there, has 3 cameras, all the microphones you need, and anything else. It's been really fun because every time it gets used, somebody always asks us, like, hey, can we do this? And so we've been trying to just upgrade it more and more as it's going along. So actually, if you go back there now, there's a new TV in there, and there's going to be another screen going in soon. Those were literally just installed last weekend. So we're trying to keep it fresh and moving along as much as we can. And when we say a podcast studio, all we mean is really just a smaller space for shooting whatever show you're going to be doing, because we still want to air this on our channels. So yes, it is kind of a podcast style, but we still want to air it on our stations like everything else that's produced here. And then the other piece of gear I want to talk about is this guy right here. This is the most expensive backpack I've ever held in my hands, just so everybody's aware. This is called a Live View. And what this is allowing us, Larry Jurek, he's not here, but he fought for us to get this with the library because he wanted us to be doing more live production as well. And so we're using this so we can do all these live shows remotely and sending it back to the studio so we can be live on our stations whenever we want to do one of these live productions. So this is a cool piece of gear. We're so grateful for the library and Larry for what they've done to provide for us on this. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Sam.
Hello. All right, so I'm going to talk about the other class that we have, the audio class. Our next one's going to be May 4th, which is a Sunday. We do it from 11 a.m. to about 6 p.m. Same as usual, we're going to talk about basic sound terminology, how the ear works, different types of microphones, what they're best used for. We're going to set up and mic a drum kit, talk about how to mic some other instruments, and then we get some hands-on time with our audio board, the Behringer X32, and we do a little bit of like light mixing techniques on Pro Tools as well. And then I'm going to move over here and show you some new things that we got. Everybody just pause for a second.
With some editing magic, you'll peer over there.
All right, can everybody hear me? Is it coming out? Cool. Okay. I'm gonna forget about that. So, my plan was to have somebody here to do this for me, but I got it.
Do you want me to come Vanna for you?
No, it's okay.
Are you sure?
I can do it. Okay, so we got some new instruments, which is gonna make this super fun. Usually I just talk about how to mic some guitars and stuff, but now we have options. This is a Squier Sonic Bronco bass with our Fender Rumble. This is fine. This is fine. This is great. Squier Bronco bass with a Rumble amp. In the middle here, we have our Ibanez acoustic electric with a pretty sunburst. So pretty. I like that one. I'm excited about that one. And then our Squier Affinity Series Stratocaster with an orange amp that's not orange. I guess I picked the wrong one. It's fine.
Still sounds great.
It does sound great. So we got all of these new things. More than welcome to use this, whether it's props or actually using it for your show. We would really like you to really actually use it for your show. All of them have a bunch of new strings, tuners, restringing, equipment, straps, all of the things you could possibly need. So, cool. I guess I'll go sit back down. That was all. Hang on.
I love that part. Big reveal.
Okay. With still music, because you know me, love music. Last year we showed a trailer for a concert that I filmed a couple of years ago at Brooklyn Bowl called Paradise from Bristol Maroney. That was really fun. That's out and it's airing now. I am finishing up the edit for a concert I filmed about a year and a half ago from Leanna Firestone called The Least Favorite Only Child Special. And to continue that, this year, instead of just random ones that I've decided to do, we're going to actually partner with a venue. We're partnering with Dark Matter. And we're going to try to do 4 this year live concerts. So we're just kind of trying to pick dates that work for everybody and go with those artists. And we are going to do one later this month. Still working out details, so I'm not going to say who it is yet, just in case it doesn't work. But we'll pick a different day if it doesn't work. I do still need some camera operators, if anybody's interested. Definitely got a few spots. We would probably need, it's either going to be a long day or it's going to be earlier for like a sound check recording and then later for the actual filming. So could be 2 spots if you want it to be. But let me know if you're interested in that. And again, this year, which we announced at the last meeting, for every 8 hours you volunteer for a NECAT production, you get a free month on your membership. So that would add to that as well. We also want to encourage everyone to make a promo for your show. Did we add one to the presentation?
No.
Oh, okay. Forgot about that. The next time you're into film, we want you to make a promo for your show. So it's going to be pretty simple. I was going to have somebody demonstrate, but she didn't make it. But the next time you're into film, it's just going to be like a quick 30 seconds. You're just going to say, hey, my name's Larry Underwood. I'm Dr. Gangrene. My show airs at this time on this channel. Tune in, right? You're watching NECAT. That kind of thing. And we can have something like that written up for you if you would like. And, you know, find your dates and times and everything for you. But we would really like everyone to film one of those so we can run that as basically filler content on our channels. And then the last thing I have to announce, I don't know how to preface this, so I'll just say it. I am moving to Seattle in June, so I will be leaving. You still have these 2. and hopefully a third person soon, whenever, they hire someone. Don't know when that'll be, but hopefully soon. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to thank Sam for her service, obviously. Round of applause for that. She's been a dream come true. This time, we wish her nothing but the best as she goes on towards Seattle. We got 2 more months with her and a lot left to do till then. So just make sure that over the next 2 months when you see her, thank her for what she has done and, again, encourage her in what she is about to do because I have no doubt it's going to be amazing. Next up for you guys, we have a special guest. We have Nick Duggar with us tonight. Right here in the front row. He's going to come up. Nick Duggar is the executive director of the National Academy of Television Arts and Science Nashville Mid-South chapter, who operates the Emmy Awards here locally. He has a long resume of things that got sent out in our newsletter this week. I encourage you all to look at that. I don't want to read the whole thing because it would take all evening. He's done so many wonderful things, worked with so many different wonderful artists over the years. But he's going to come and talk to us a little bit tonight about his career, jobs that are available in the film and television industry, as well as what you could be doing with your shows here at NECAT to be eligible for the local Emmy Awards.
Hi, everybody. How are y'all this evening? Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, happy to do it.
I got all kinds of stuff to talk about. I'll tell you a little bit about myself first. I fell in love with television at a very early age, and it is all I have ever done since. I started working in TV when I was 13, and I am not 13 anymore. Right. To say the least. I was a theater kid growing up, and when they started dragging out the cameras to capture our theatrical performances, I fell in love. Started working on a TV truck in my hometown of Jackson, Tennessee, and we did football games and the Miss Tennessee pageant and you name it. If there was a live event in our city, they wanted to cover it. For whatever reason, they let me tag along. And after a little while, they started paying me. Not a lot. But I figured out real quick, if I could do this and make money doing it, this isn't a bad deal. I got to go to MTSU, and I slept on their TV truck. Anytime that production unit at MTSU would move, I tried to be involved with it in some way, shape, or form, and then was crazy enough to build my own production truck in 2003. Now, I thought this truck could go do the Super Bowl. Probably not. It was somewhat of a glorified bread truck, but I had a vehicle that I could go around and do live productions with. Fast forward a few years, now TNDV Television has 33 production trucks, and they do work at the Super Bowl frequently and many other things, a lot of award shows, a lot of corporate events. So my day job is doing live mobile television production all over the country. We do a few thousand projects a year, and we've been in business for over 20 years now. My passion is working with the Television Academy. So everybody knows what an Emmy Award is. There are chapters for the Emmys all over the country, and ours is the Mid-South chapter. It's all of Tennessee, all of North Carolina, portions of below us in the Huntsville area. So we have a big chapter, about 5,000 members, and what the Emmys exist for is not only awarding excellent production work, but we have a lot of other special things we do. Just last Friday, we broadcast our student awards live on the NECAT network. We have a high school Excellence in Television Awards program. But of course, the big Emmys is what everybody really cares about. So every year, we do a live Emmy telecast. We give away Emmys in 72 categories. And it's everything from audio to camera work to live entertainment special, lots of news, lots of documentary categories. The question tonight is, how do you win an Emmy? You could absolutely win an Emmy for the work you're doing right here at the NECAT network. The requirements are it has to broadcast or stream, either one, but it can't just be a passion project you do and show your family. It actually has to air or stream somewhere. Regional intent is also very important. If you're producing something that's more intended for a national audience, that goes to the National Emmys, which is part of our organization, and if you need help with that, I'm happy to help. Most of our work is intended for a regional audience, not just Nashville, though. We're talking statewide or this whole part of the country. There's a lot of concerts I produce at the Ryman with national artists, but they're really intended for a regional audience, and that absolutely counts. The rule used to be if more than 51% of the country can see it, it counts as national. But now that streaming counts, Streaming goes everywhere, so there's no way to do that 51%. So they say regional intent. Something that would air on Channel 2 here in town, that's intended for our region. Good Morning America is intended for a national audience. News 2 is intended for regional. So regional is important, but most of the work done on the NECAT network would be appropriate for a regional Emmy. What happens in late July is we send out what's called our call for entries. It's basically a PDF document, it's on our website too, that lists all the categories we're going to do for the year, the eligibility requirements, and the cost. It's not free.
Right.
And it's not cheap. Those Emmy Awards are expensive. Putting on that Emmy telecast is expensive, and it helps cover all the cost for things we do as an organization. So you got to pay to enter. But what you would do is identify the categories that fit your project, fill out the entry form, upload your video project, and then it goes to judging. We have 6 partner chapters that judge all of our entries, meaning there are television professionals all over the country that watch the work that is being judged for our region. And we do that because we want a diverse mix of people watching this work. If we only did judging from the Seattle chapter, and Seattle, for whatever reason, didn't like Southerners, we might not score too well. So we do Seattle, Chicago, New York, and we get a few judges from each. Typically, any entry will get seen by 6 to 10 judges. Every entry for every category. And we, in turn, do that for other chapters, too, which is a lot of fun. Your work gets judged, and then in October or early November, we have a big party for the nomination announcements. We get together, some food, some drinks, in a cool venue, and we found out who got nominated per category. It's typically 3 to 5 entries per category, but to get nominated, it has to be considered Emmy worthy. They don't give out nominations. Being Emmy nominated is a big deal. There's plenty of times that we've had categories with 0 nominations. If the work submitted is not up to snuff, it won't get a nomination. But lots of them do. I've been lucky enough to be nominated a few times, and it's very exciting. From the nomination party, the next big thing is our telecast, and we do a live dinner banquet. Last year we were at the Fisher Center at Belmont. In years past, we've been at the Symphony Hall. We've done it at Gaylord Opryland. 500 to 700 people attend this thing, have a big banquet, and live on television, we give out 72 Emmy Awards. And having been lucky enough to receive a few in my lifetime, it's one of the most exciting things to ever happen to me. To be judged by our peers and to have them find your work worthy of this kind of award, it's second to none. And these are real Emmy Awards. Just because we're regional doesn't mean the award is any less. This is an actual Emmy, and it went to the top of my resume the time I won my first Emmy. I highly encourage anybody that has work that they feel like is exceptional. I don't recommend entering everything. It's not a numbers game. If you enter more, it does not increase your chances of winning, and it's expensive. Admittedly, the entries are expensive. We haven't announced entry fees for this year, but it's not something you just want to throw money at. But if you feel like you've produced something that is truly excellent, and it doesn't have to be the entire project. If the entire project is excellent, absolutely enter. But if you had outstanding audio mixing, for example, there's a category just for audio. If you feel like your graphics are exceptional, there's a motion graphics category. We call those the crafts, the craft categories for individual work. If you think the cinematography was excellent, even though the overall project didn't knock your socks off, it's still worth entering for the cinematography categories. So all that to say, keep an eye out on midsouthemmys.org. We've got a Facebook page. If you search Mid-South Emmys, we're on LinkedIn. Keep an eye out for that call for entries in late July. We keep the window open for about 2 months, so you have all of August and some of September to get your work together and get it organized and uploaded, and cross your fingers.
It feels like it gets easier every year. I feel like I met Dick in, I want to say 2007 or 8.
It's been a while, yeah.
First time I got nominated for it. And back then we were still like, you had to make 4 or 5 copies on a DVD and mail it in through the mail, and like it was very archaic.
We did VHS entries, we did Beta SP entries for a while, and it had to be multiple copies because that would get shipped to all the different regions for judging. Now it's a simple upload, simple form. It's gotten much easier.
It definitely feels like it's simpler, and I would agree with Nick. It's like for me, it's like getting nominated was career changing in that it opens a lot of doors for people to go, oh, this person is serious about what they're doing, and it allowed me to get some jobs that I probably otherwise wouldn't have been able to even get an interview for. So it's like it's a thing worth doing. Talking about the judging portion of this, even if you go in for this, it's like if you don't get nominated, you're going to be allowed to kind of help do that judging. They're going to invite you in to watch that, and watching other people's work and seeing how they put things together will make you better at being a television producer. Just seeing the way that what is considered the best of the best. You know, it's like because you're only seeing really, for the most part, really good work that gets turned in. So I encourage everyone to do that. Like I said, I have been every year since I've been doing this. We have tried to submit something. I encourage you all to do that. If you ever need any help on figuring out, hey, what do you think we should submit this year? Come talk to me about it. We'll try to help narrow that down. What is the best version of your show that you put out this year, and help you get through the paperwork portion of it, and help you along with anything that's there. And again, if I can't answer your question, we can call this guy, and he can definitely do that. He's pretty quick too on answering those questions.
Anytime. Happy to do it.
And not to put you on the spot, Nick.
Try me.
Are you still offering where if you do judging for another chapter, you're doing a reduced cost for entries?
If you're a member,
Okay.
we have a membership fee. And not only does the membership fee help you get discounted entries, it also, we have a list of member benefits as well. Some of it's industry related. There's a talent coach based in Nashville that's one of the best in the country. Bill Kakamas is based here. Bill gives discounts to Mid-South chapter members if you need talent coaching. You get 15% off at the Predators game store. There's some cool things that come along with member benefits, but one of the biggest is you get the newsletter and you are invited to help judge based on your criteria. If you've got experience in an area and you're an appropriate judge, you can help judge. This year, if you judge 3 different panels, you get another discount on your entries.
There you go.
So absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. And again, I encourage everyone here to get involved with that. Since Nick has taken over as the executive director, we have seen the chapter grow. I can tell you, it's always been good. There's a lot of good history in Nashville. Seeing this thing from way back to where it is now, but just the way that the job banks are starting to open up, the different programs that have been brought back to television. NECAT is super excited to be a partner in putting those back on TV in a big way. In addition to the student awards, the big show, the nomination party, the Silver Circle, which is a lifetime achievement. Nick has been working with us this year on finding ways to put that back on broadcast television through NECAT. So even if you don't enter anything, you can watch it at home on NECAT. We're super excited to be a part of that and look forward to years to come with that. So with that said, we're going to open up for Q&A at this point. So if anyone has any questions about what we have discussed tonight about new equipment, things that are happening in the building, or if you have questions for Nick, we absolutely want you to do that. The same microphone that Sam used earlier, we would love for you to step up to that microphone so the people that are watching at home can hear you and see you. But if anyone wants to jump in and start us off, feel free to step to the microphone. I know that first person is always kind of hard, but I'm going to call for a volunteer if no one jumps up and does it.
Hey, Nick. I think
How are
you know
ya?
me, Dr. Gangrene, Larry Underwood. Question about your Emmys. Any chance that you can add the category for set design back? I know that was taken away at one point because I think it didn't have a lot of entries or something.
It's a great
So-
question, and that's exactly right. We had a few categories that for a number of years had not enough entries or no entries. So what we've done, and what was alluded to, is we had a longtime executive director. There was a young lady that worked in our chapter for almost 30 years, and she unfortunately passed away a couple years ago, rather unexpectedly. At the time, I was the president of the board of directors, and for 6 months I said, I will not take this job. And then I took the job. So we are slowly cleaning some things up, and what we've done is we've appointed a committee to go through all the categories, because there's 72. As opposed to adding more and pushing it to 80 or 90 and making it a 4-hour show, we're kind of going through and seeing if there's any more that need to be removed. There's also no children's programming category right now, and in the last few years, children's programming has just exploded in our area. So the short answer is categories are under review, and before they get announced at the call for entries, they're going to go through every one of the categories offered by the national office, which is over 100, and consider bringing some back. So what I will do is specifically mention a revisit to set design, because I agree, I think it's a great one.
Yeah, good deal.
Anybody else? We'll jump in.
Now, you asked one of you gentlemen asked me a question earlier today. You asked, how do you get a full-time job in TV in this town?
Yeah, that's a great question.
So while we're waiting for you all to make your way to the microphone for the next question, I put my thinking cap on about that today. In Nashville, I think it's important for people to realize that Nashville is a TV city. And when I say that, I refer to Nashville as the third coast. LA is a TV city. New York is a TV city. Nashville is a TV city. More so than, I would say, Chicago, more so than Atlanta. Now, Atlanta is a film city, but they're not a television city. Not like here, where we have how many networks call Nashville home base right here? How many award shows do we do on a national level? So in Nashville and in our surrounding areas, there's really two paths to go if you want to make this a career, and that's freelance or full-time. And there's a lot of validity to both. If you want to be a freelancer in this city and you're good at what you do, there is a lot of opportunities. But what jobs exist? People ask me that all the time. You all know about most of them. Camera operators. You can have a full-time career in this city as a camera operator, and you will make in one day what most of us that have day jobs might make in a week. Now, the trick is you might only work one day a week or 2 or 3 days a month, but it is still a very comfortable living running camera. And I'm talking about running a camera on a tripod, running a handheld camera. Specialty cameras in town. Who loves to see a jib operator at a show with the big long camera crane? Jibs are very popular in town. Steadicam operators. If you get good at a specialty camera system in town, there's a lot of work, but you have to make that investment in the specialty camera system. And that's just the camera department. Directors, TDs running the switcher, audio mixers, audio assistants, graphic operators, replay operators, set designers, lighting designers, makeup and hair artists. There are hundreds of jobs that are appropriate for a freelance career in Nashville. So how do you get a gig? Believe it or not, one of the busiest resources for freelance work these days is good old Facebook. There's a number of groups on Facebook. The two that I recommend to people, one is called Crew Call. Join the Crew Call Facebook page. Every day people post looking for this or that, where they're looking for it, and how much they're paying. No, it's not always a great rate. You don't have to take the gig, but it's a great place to meet other people and get started. There's also an organization in town, the Nashville Filmmakers Guild. Film scares a lot of us TV people away. It did for me. But the lines are blurred these days. There's a lot of television production in the film industry and vice versa. Find some Facebook groups and then reach out to the players in town that are making television. Selfishly, TNDV, as the company I started, they're running TV trucks all over the country. They constantly need help. Now, they don't do crewing per se, but they can make recommendations. High End TV is a production company based here in town. Taillight Television is based here in town. Tacklebox Films is located here in town. Tangible Vision is located here in town. Right. There's probably 20 or 25 production companies.
And that's not even including like the corporate video stuff that shows up and the music video.
Music videos are still booming.
Yeah. And Nashville's one of the few places that are still making those.
The trick is you got to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Have a resume ready to go. If you can put together a demo reel, have it ready to go. What's on your demo reel? I need to see examples of what you've done. You can't just show a clip of the CMA Awards on your demo reel, because I don't know if you produced it or if you took out the trash at Bridgestone Arena. Either one is legitimate. Right. Put a little lower third on there. There's equipment here in this very building to cut a little demo reel with a clip of your project and then just a little lower third that says what you did, especially if you've done it for a number of years in a row. I don't care if you were the lowest production assistant on the crew call. If they've called you back 3 years in a row, that tells me that you're reliable and you're so good at what you do, they want you back. And everybody knows that there's a career ladder. You won't be a PA forever. Right. But whether you're pursuing freelance work or a full-time gig, stay in touch with the production companies in town, get involved on social media, get that demo reel ready so when you're on the elevator downtown and it turns out you're riding with a TV executive, you're ready to tell them that link to see your demo reel. Be prepared for it now. There's tons of opportunities in the city if you want a full-time gig in TV.
Yeah, and our goal at NECAT is to train you guys on how to do this. We're going to let you make TV here as long as you want to make TV here. We're going to train you how to do it, and we're going to allow you, if you want to do one project or if you want to spend 20 years here making the show that you want to make, We want you to do that. But we also want to see you sail and fly out into the world and make bigger, better, greater things. And we would love for all of you to make a career out of this where you can make money and feed yourself and your families and all those other fun things that come with those type of careers. You know, Nick is being a little bit modest because I know he has worked with all kinds of great artists. He's not going to give you a laundry list of those people. But I will say that, like, it is sometimes the best seat in the house to some of these shows that you can't get a ticket to. You're there in the middle of it, and you're not only witnessing the show, you're part of the show, and you're help getting it from out of that building to the world. We talked about, like, all the things that happen downtown, but like the New Year's Eve show that happens in Nashville, it's a national broadcast every year now. They are looking for people to work on those shows. There are possibilities, and the work that you're doing at NECAT is something you can put on that resume, and kind of, you know, they can see they've had this little bit of a start. You're going to find people that will give you your first break. I know Nick has done that for quite a few people, you know, giving those first breaks through his work through MTSU and all of the people through TNDV. But also just the thought process of, like, I mean, at this point, how many people do you think through TNDV have you employed over the time that you've been doing it? It's a lot of people.
In 20 years, it's been a lot.
Yeah.
But it's thanks to places like NECAT, like Belmont, like MTSU, like Tennessee State that have AV programs. This is the place to come and learn. And I'll just say it. Make mistakes.
Yeah.
Learn from it. Get all that out of your system. So when you do get the call to come do a gig, you've got all that worked out and you're ready to shine like a rock star. It's a matter of doing it and doing it a lot. You know, we are what we do repeatedly. You know, excellence is not a coincidence. It's a habit. So the more you can volunteer and come out on these show sites, I was so excited to hear about the live tennis coverage. It's cool that it's tennis, but honestly, any sport. And I admit, I'm more of an entertainment guy than a sports guy. But think about the TV production that happens here in town around sports. First of all, there's the broadcast and what goes on the Jumbotron. That's two separate crews. That's two separate sets of cameras, directors, TDs, video shaders, Titans, Predators, Nashville SC, Nashville Sounds, Memphis Grizzlies. Go to the colleges, Vanderbilt, Belmont, UTK, University of Memphis. They're all using giant TV crews to feed those big screens and to feed their broadcast. Hundreds of opportunities. And if you start here by volunteering at the tennis live events, you're going to walk onto that show site when they do have a job opening, knowing exactly what's going on.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I worked at a PEG station in LA, and a guy I worked with is now running engineering for the Dodgers. So.
Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunities in sports.
So I've got a friend too. And it's like, and we love the Emmys. It's the coolest trophy, right? But at the same time, he has a championship ring from the Golden State Warriors.
That's
And
pretty
it's just
cool.
like, I can't get one of those.
That's
And it's
pretty
like,
cool.
It's like, and he ran the video system for them. And it's like, and has an NBA championship ring because of that, because he's part of that team.
part of that team.
He's not on the court, you know, throwing threes up, but, like, he's doing that. There are job opportunities like that because, again, if you think about our pro sports teams in town, the Titans are hiring. The Nashville SC soccer team is hiring. The Sounds are hiring. There are multiple places that you could jump in. All of these colleges, Vanderbilt, Belmont, that have teams, they are putting video out all the time. So there's opportunity all over the place.
Something else to think about too. We've touched on entertainment here in town. We've touched on sports. Not sure what everybody's religious affiliation is, but church broadcasting, religious broadcasting, live streaming their services, making training and leadership videos. There are churches in this city, in our own fair home of Nashville, that have nicer broadcast equipment than any of the TV stations.
Yeah. And the biggest one in the world, I mean, Trinity Broadcast is up in Hendersonville.
Based right
It's
here.
the old Twitty City. It's right there. I mean, that's the biggest Christian television studio on the planet right now, as far as I know.
If you have AV at your church or at a church you're even familiar with, they need volunteers all the time, and they have very well-paying full-time jobs creating media for church. So if that's your thing and working in the religious world is something that sounds attractive, tons of media opportunities for video, audio, lighting, set design. So there's a lot of opportunities right now to do this work that you're doing at NECAT professionally.
Yeah. And I know, I mean, we have enough people that come through NECAT. I promise we can help open some of those doors too. If that's something you're interested to, we can help point the way. I want to open it back to the audience again. If there's anyone has a question and wants to step to the microphone, please do. We've got Nick here tonight for the evening answering these questions. I think it's a good thing. But if you've got another question about other things that are going on at NECAT, you're welcome to do that too. Or if you have something about your show that you may want to share, Nick may give you some insight on that. So anybody want to jump in? I'm going to let Sam ask a question because I know you're about to go So if like you're about to be looking for a new job in a new space, talk about that kind of what you're kind of putting forward, and Nick, you may give her some advice on like how to find that new space when she gets to the other side of the country.
All right. At the moment, I do a lot of editing freelance, so I'm gonna continue doing that. And then with that, there were a couple companies that I was looking at, neither based in Seattle, but gonna see if they were hiring for editing, I could do remote. In Seattle, it's not NPR's Tiny Desk. There's another thing, and I can't remember the call sign of the radio station, but they do like live performances. Be looking there. But yeah, I don't know. I guess the only question would be, do you know of anything in Seattle that I should look into or I should avoid?
There's a post house in Seattle called Flying Spot. That's one of the coolest in the country.
Okay.
I would absolutely check on Flying Spot job availability. But just like here, where I mentioned the Nashville Filmmakers Guild, figure out what social media groups are happening up in the Pacific Northwest, because it's not a television town, but there's a lot of video and television projects in that area. And I know that the groups in the city are thriving. The .com boom from a few years ago popped up a lot of production opportunities there. But really the same advice I'd give for anybody. Like, who in this room right now has a business card in your pocket you could hand me today? Okay. Business cards. Be ready. Be ready for when you run into somebody at the airport flying to Seattle or at the coffee shop and you say, hey, I'm an editor. And they're like, I could use some editing help. Don't be late to get your business cards ready. Have that ready to go. That demo reel, whether you're a camera operator, an audio engineer, an editor, don't wait till they request to see your demo reel. Get it done now and then keep it up to date. Make sure any new project you do, you add to it. The idea is to be ready, because when that opportunity comes, and the opportunity will present itself at some point, you want to be prepared and ready to rock. So when they say, I'm looking for an editor, you're like, perfect, here's my info. Let's talk tomorrow. And you're ready to rock. That's what I would do.
Nick, I know here, like we check out equipment to all of our members to let them go out in town and make things. But we get questions all the time about like putting a kit together for a single shooter if they're going to go out and make something for themselves, whether it be sports content or short films or, fly on the wall or talking to people downtown in front of Bridgestone. If you were to tell someone, like, what do you need to get started if you were to buy your own little piece of kit, what would you recommend to them?
My number one thought is it's the Archer, not the Arrow. You can go buy the most expensive camera sold. Go buy you a new Sony FX9. But just buying that camera is not going to make you a better shooter. You can buy the fanciest lens they sell. It's not going to mean you can keep your shot in focus. Almost all of us right now have shooting and editing gear in our pocket. Those crazy little iPhones. Now, I'm in no way suggesting you start a production company based on iPhone acquisition, but I would say start there and shoot and edit as much as you can. Start figuring out what you're good at and what you need help improving. And then from there, then it's time to start thinking about making an investment. I feel like things like tripods, lights, those things can be rented project to project. But if you're going to get serious about shooting, picking the right camera for you is a logical first step. But you don't want to blow the bank on it. I'm a big fan of scratch and dent and used equipment. As long as it has a guarantee, as long as you try it out first. Remember eBay? That's still a thing. Facebook Marketplace. And beyond that, a lot of the companies right here in town. Doug Bates Video, DBV. If you don't know DBV, you should look it up. Rentacamera.com. Those guys are based here. And they rotate their inventory. And they take care of their stuff. And they're not going to sell you something unless they know it works well. And that it's probably going to have a guarantee with it. I would rent first. Determine what works best for you. And I mean, go out and shoot. Shoot. I don't care if it's a kid's birthday party or a church service. Don't just assume that more money means it's going to be better. It's a matter of what works best for you. So if I were seriously going to drop a couple grand on a camera, I would go spend a couple $100 first renting 2 or 3 different kinds. Let them know. If you go to Doug Bates Video, DBV, and say, look, I'm trying to buy a new camera and I'd like to try 3 or 4 of them. I don't have a client behind this. It's coming out of my own pocket. Will you help give me a discount and let me try 3 or 4 different cameras over the course of the next few weeks? I bet they would do it. Doug, if you're watching, hope you'll back me up on that. The team at rentacamera.com, Adam Rector and his guys, great guys. I've rented from Adam for over 20 years now. Same thing. Try before you buy. Figure out what you feel most comfortable with. Do the work. Go shoot a package about walking your dog, but get out there and shoot some footage, edit with it, try the controls, see how it feels in your hand before you make that big investment. And then start shopping for a deal. Scratch and dent, B-stock, open box. There's no reason to pay retail right out of the gate. It will not make you a better shooter just by spending more money.
And again, everyone, before you go buy all this, it's like all the equipment that we have here at NECAT, you're welcome to use. We want to put it in your hands. We want you to go out and make things, try it out, because to Dick's point, it's not about the piece of equipment always. It is about you getting better at your craft. It's taking the time to go out and shoot things, make things work for you, write stories about the things that you have, and tell stories about the things that are happening in your neighborhood. That makes great local television. Maybe you'll win an Emmy for it. I don't know. Who's to say? Again, I want to give one last opportunity. If anybody has any questions, Dan, please step to the microphone real quick.
Does it have to be a question?
Doesn't have to be a question. You can make a statement.
Can I make a comment and a complaint?
Absolutely.
Okay, believe it or not. None of the people are here, I don't think, that need to hear this, but maybe they will watch.
They will be seeing it, yes.
Okay. Some of us, I think all of us, do what we think is important here. I do a live show every Wednesday night. I've got an audience that tunes in on Rumble every Wednesday night. So we came a couple Wednesday nights ago. We were ready to go. I had a guest, pretty important lady. After she left here, she went and met with some people on Capitol Hill down there. She came in here 10 minutes before, well, maybe 30 minutes before we were ready to throw the switch and go live. We get notice, these folks get notice that somebody somewhere decided we've got to leave. So I've got to tell my guest, this is not a professional group. It's raining, so we got to go home. Now, she was cool with it. She came back the next week. But sometimes we have people that travel from 3 and 4 hours. And if they get here and this isn't going to happen, that doesn't look good, not only for us, but people look at the studio and say, who are these people? There's 3, 4, 5 TV stations in town. They didn't shut down. Okay, well, this is under the auspices of the city. They didn't send the firemen home. They didn't send the policemen home. They didn't shut down the hospitals. So I think just because libraries closed down doesn't mean this is a library. We've got some important things here. And even if you're not live, if you come here to record a show and you have some important guest come here, and then you have to turn them away and say, we got you here, you took your time to come here. It's a great studio, and everybody that comes in here is totally impressed by this, but they're not impressed when we tell them, go home, because we can't do this. So that's my complaint, and I hope somebody will listen and say, you know, the crew here was saying, let's stay. It was supposed to be some kind of monsoon that came. We left here, went out to Dalt's. This place closed down we were supposed to go live at 7, closed down at 6:45 or so. We went to Dalt's, ate supper. I came out at about 9:30, I guess. Not a raindrop anywhere. Nobody getting destroyed by rain or storm or anything like that. We could have done our show and not turn our guests away. Thank you.
Dan, I appreciate the statement. I will say that I know for a fact that the people that do that you want to hear this will hear this. We'll make sure that they get a copy of this and that they know of that complaint. Again, for us, I know that they were doing their due diligence, trying to make sure that they were looking out for the safety of not only us as employees, but you as patrons of this place. Wasn't my call to make, obviously, but we always stand by what the library puts forward to us. It's like it's hard to make those calls. I hate that anyone had to make that call, and I hate that it didn't rain that night, but it is a good thing that no one got hurt. But I will make sure that they hear that from you. Thank you. Anybody else have anything that they want to add? Questions? Anything about your shows? Anybody got a new show that they want to tell us about? So many people in the audience just staring back at me quietly. Okay, well, I do want to bring on some final remarks. We got one more thing that we want to show you tonight. To kind of give you a little bit of an update about the building project, you get the slide there. So our NECAT staff here, obviously, but we have a little bit of an update on that. They are currently having discussions on a lease renewal at this space with Nashville State. It is not completed yet, but that is something that they are working on currently, with the hopes being that we'll be here an additional 2 years. And when it comes to the new building, they are publicly stating now that they are in the process of putting us in the old Donaldson library space, doing a complete remodel out there and building a new studio space. We have had, an architect has been hired. They were in this building this week to kind of walk through, see what we already had here, thinking about the future of what's going to be built out there. People keep asking me, like, what's that going to look like in that space? It will be a complete remodel on the inside and out, as well as an additional studio in that back space. I don't have a lot of new news to give you when it comes to that. Just know that it is moving forward. We hope, again, by next quarter that we will have some more news for you. Speaking of that, we want to let you know that our next member meeting is going to be July 10th, 2025, and that is going to be our Best of NECAT Awards. You may have attended that last year whenever we did it over at the Forge, but this year it is going to be here in the TV studio. We're going to encourage everyone to come out because we'll be giving out trophies and talking about all the great productions that'll be happening. Once again, we want to thank our guest, Nick Duggar. Round of applause, everybody,
Thank you very much.
for joining us. Nick, one last time, if they want to learn more about the Television Academy, where can they find it online?
Best place is midsouthemmys.org, or look up Mid-South Emmys on Facebook or LinkedIn.
And I think there's a new Instagram page too, is there?
There's
not?
an Instagram page as well. Absolutely,
So
same
please,
thing.
yeah, follow them on all the social medias. And again, if you want help with that from NECAT, come talk to me. I'll either try to do it myself or we'll pass you on to Nick and make sure you get all that. So again, thank you for everyone in our audience here in the studio, for everyone watching at home. We will see you next time here at NECAT. Thanks so much.